I'm back. I'm back with more yapping. I know how much you guys loved my yapping last time. Which actually, I'm not even joking. I was not expecting the last video, my Nosferatu review, to get as many views as it did in that many days, but thank you. I'm honored that you guys like to hear me yap. So, without further ado, I guess we'll yap some more. I was thinking, since we did the Nosferatu review, that today I'm gonna do, if you liked Nosferatu 2024, you should watch blankety blank blank blank, okay? Fair warning, these are gonna be, well, they're gonna be kind of obvious. There are gonna be some obvious recommendations, but I think it is important to recommend them and go over them, since I feel like this was a lot of people's first time experiencing Nosferatu. They'd never got into gothic horror, they never watched like the original Nosferatus, maybe they never even watched, you know, any other vampire movies. So of course, the first recommendation that I'm going to bestow upon you, well, Nosferatu the Vampire. This is the 70s one. There was the original Nosferatu, which was in the 20s. It was a silent film, black and white, captioning instead of speaking, right? This one, however, this one was in the 70s. It's very theatrical, I would say. Like, it definitely is, it's old, and it feels old, right? Robert Eggers had followed the storyline so well. A lot of similar shots, color patterns. If you really enjoyed the new 2024 Nosferatu, then you would probably enjoy these and have a love for them, even though they are older, but it is one of the OGs. So, a second very predictable suggestion, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula, the inspiration for Count Orlok and Nosferatu originates back to Dracula. Bram Stoker did such a lovely job. This is a movie that is forever going to be iconic, and it is one that you absolutely need to see if you haven't already. I know. But listen, there's so many people that haven't experienced this for the first time, and we need to educate, we need to culture them, okay? We need to bring them into our vampire coven and give them some material to study. This, of course, has Gary Oldman, an icon. So many different looks in this movie. He fucking, ooh. And Winona Ryder, of course, our OG goth queen. She so young and so beautiful. One that came out this year as well would be the new Salem's Lot by Max, like HBO Max, recreation of Salem's Lot. Now looking back at it, I didn't really like put two and two together, like, oh, this kind of reminds me of like Nosferatu. But it has similar vibes, the same kind of like scariness and horror. The vampire in this film looks like it was inspired by Nosferatu. There's been a lot of vampires that have had that, you know, bald, piercing, blinding eyes, long fingers, of course, long fingernails. It's kind of just in vampire nature, right? Not every vampire is sexy. Sorry to break it to you guys. It's unfortunate, but we do love our very scary and like decrepit and rotting to the bone vampires. We do. I've been trying to read this. I've been trying to read the book. I have no time to read ever. Don't judge me. So I never read the book. I started reading it. Couldn't finish. I mean, I'm signing up to do audiobooks, okay? I'm a fake fan, obviously. I'm a fake vampire. I'm a fake goth. All right, I can't recommend shit. The next one that I have that is not necessarily a vampire movie, but it is a gothic horror about the Headless Horseman. Sleepy Hollow. I do believe this is a earlier time period than Nosferatu is supposed to be set in. This is like the 17th century. Nosferatu, I believe, is 19th century. But very similar in the way of like speech, fashion, small, like developing town vibes with like mansions and castles. Very romantic, poetic, again, just like Nosferatu. And I mean, literally has Johnny Depp in it. Nosferatu had Lily Rose Depp, so, you know, I think they're conjoining to me, in my brain. This one, yes, it's a vampire movie. Yes, it is Interview with a Vampire. Now, Anne Rice, I think, is one of the best gothic, like, writers. This one is very gorgeous. It is, of course, not the same. It's not going to be a similar storyline to Nosferatu, of course. It is involving, you know, plague, vampires, history. Takes you along the story of somebody who became a vampire. And I think seeing like similarities in color palette, in similar time periods, again, this is the 18th century, same realm. Now, these are sexy vampires. These are sexy vampires, okay? So don't expect like super scary or anything like that. Do expect some gruesomeness and some other just world issues, but they are beautiful. I think that a lot of people were expecting Nosferatu to make them like piss themselves from fear, but it's not supposed to be like that scary. It's a gothic horror. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable and uneasy and like out of the macabre and weirdness. So anyway, I just want to insert that. Not every gothic horror is gonna be truly horror and scare you. So, moving on. This one is kind of, it's a little bit of a curveball. It's not very vampire-y. It is more ghostly and ghouly, you know? So this one is Crimson Peak. This was made in 2015. Set design like that. Gorgeous house. Yeah, I really think that this film matches so well with just aesthetics with Nosferatu. Of course, not story, but nonetheless, this one's pretty creepy, and I like the intenseness of this one. I like the ghosts and ghouls and just what the hell is gonna happen next, and just the insaneness. I feel like it doesn't really get talked about a lot. I kind of forgot about it. It is definitely like the epitome of gothic aesthetic and horror. If you haven't watched Crimson Peak, and this is maybe your first time hearing about it, this might be the only one that's like not as mainstream as the others. Check it out. I hope you enjoy it. For the baby bats who are just getting into gothic horror and movies like this, I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you have seen these, if you're going to watch them. To my OG Eternal Vampires. I know y'all already know the tea. If you have any other suggestions to throw in to the mix, I'm missing a ton, I know. That is all. Let me know. Yappin' City. We're clocking into the Yap Factory on my YouTube now. So, follow me on Twitch if you're not already. Twitch.tv/Blair. Just Blair. I'm on Instagram at Blairvira. Check out my socials if you haven't already. I don't know. I post cringe. So yeah. And have a good day. Go enjoy your movies.